Oh, good, you're here. Do you own a small business and are wondering how to pay yourself actual money from that business without paying extra fees from your accounting software or hiring a payroll specialist to do it for you? Well, you're watching the right video because that's the topic for today. Okay, so this video is going to be focused on how to pay yourself a salary from your Canadian corporation. Some of the stuff that I'm going to be going over would maybe line up with other countries as well. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be showing a step-by-step how to pay yourself a salary if you're an owner of a Canadian corporation. Now, I'm a professional accountant in Canada, and I have a lot of experience as an accountant in Canada. So sticking with Canadian rules is what I'm going to do. Just to quickly kind of go over, there are two ways to pay yourself out of a corporation. Today we're going to be focusing, like I said, mostly on this salary portion, but you could also pay yourself a dividend. So dividends would be taxed essentially at a lower personal rate, but you would pay a higher business tax because the dividend coming out of the company doesn't affect your net income essentially. A salary, on the other hand, you would be taxed at a higher personal rate, although it will lower your business tax because you're going to be paying a salary, or you're going to be charging a salary expense to your business. There are some downsides. You have to pay the employer and employee portions of CPP, but there's other benefits. For example, by paying yourself a salary, you can increase your RRSP contribution room. So let's take a look at how to actually pay yourself a salary. So if you're a newly incorporated company, one of the first things that I would suggest that you do is set up a business registration or a business number with the CRA. This will actually allow you to set up all your accounts, not just your federal tax account, but you can also at the same time set up your GST account and your payroll account all at the same time. So in order to do that, quickly go over that. Go to Google and just type in CRA business registration online. The first link that you see there, just go there and hit the register now button. Now what this is going to do, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions like what your social insurance number is. They'll ask what your incorporation number is that you'll see on your corporation certificate. Probably ask you a bunch of other questions as well. But once you have that, then they'll actually issue you a business number for the CRA. They might also ask you if you want to actually set up your payroll account or if you want to set up a GST account, all that kind of stuff, which is great because then you would have everything set up all at once. If you've already registered a business number, but you haven't actually set up a payroll number yet, what I would actually suggest that you do is go to the CRA My Business Account and go here, and then right from here you should be able to register for My Business Account. So what this will actually allow you to do is to log in and see all your different services that you have, your GST, your payroll, your tax, all that kind of stuff. It's much better than getting, in my opinion anyways, it's a lot better than getting a letter from the CRA. It seems like they come in every 2 or 3 days. Instead, you could just check online here and you have access to everything right at your fingertips. So I would just register there, and then they'll actually ask you for your CRA business number and things like that. But once you are logged in, and if you don't have a payroll account yet, from inside of My Business Account, you can set up a payroll account as well, right from there. So I would just go through that process. Once you have a payroll account set up with the CRA, you're good to go. And then we can kind of continue on with this tutorial. Okay, so you're set up now with a CRA business account. You have your CRA payroll account all set up. So now we're actually able to go ahead and pay ourselves some cash. So the first thing you want to do is actually calculate what the federal tax and what all the remittances are going to be when you pay yourself. So a good source for that, I find, is using the CRA payroll calculator. So just type in CRA payroll calculator into Google, and the first link that comes up there, just go there. Accept the terms of the calculator, and today we're going to be paying ourselves a salary. So just select that and hit next. Enter in, I don't think you have to enter in your name, but I'm going to enter in my name there and the employer's name. Select the province that you do your work out of. I'm going to select Prince Edward Island and the pay frequency. So let's say we're setting up a bi-weekly payroll. So we're going to pay ourselves every 2 weeks. And the date that the payroll is actually going to be paid to the employees, I'm going to just select today. Today is the 28th of April. There we go. Then hit next. Let's just do a simple salary amount. So every 2 weeks, we're going to pay ourselves $1,000. Nice round number. So we're going to do that. None of this is a bonus or retroactive payment. We're just paying ourselves a salary. We're not going to worry about union dues or anything else that may come off. We're just paying ourselves a salary flat out. And we're just going to hit next here. You could put in on this page, you could put in different tax credits or whatever kind of tax credit bracket you would be in. I'm just going to leave these at the minimum right now. If you do have tax credits, you could always get those back come tax time when you actually file your taxes. So I'm going to leave those at the minimum. I'm not going to put in that we paid any CPP year to date yet. Just leave that blank. The employment insurance, I'm going to say that I'm EI exempt. In my case, with my company, I am EI exempt. I do not contribute to EI. It's not that I'm not going to recommend it. It's not that I'm not going to not recommend it. You could, as a business owner, contribute to EI. I personally don't do that, and many business owners don't as well. So this might be the case for you. I'm just going to say I am EI exempt, and I'm going to calculate the paycheck. So here we go. So total cash income, our gross salary was $1,000. Total deductions were $174. That's coming from CPP of $42.84 and federal and provincial tax of $68 and $63. So there you have it. So that is what we're looking at as far as what our paycheck is going to look like. So what we could do right away once we know this is we can actually transfer $825.57 to our personal account from our business account. So you can do that right away. However, we're going to have to make sure that we enter this information correctly into our accounting software. Now, let's kind of get started on that. I'll bring that up for us. Okay, so I brought up a little spreadsheet here. I'm going to kind of guide you through the process of making a journal entry for your payroll. So the first thing that we're going to do is record the salary expense. So I'm just going to type that in here. So what are we going to do? What was our salary expense? Expenses are going up, so it's going to be a debit. What was the salary expense? So you look over here, the total gross pay was $1,000. So obviously that's part of the expense. So $1,000. Now what else was there? There was other items that we had to pay on top of that $1,000. Now what was that? Well, it's your CPP contributions. So this $42.84 is going to be taken off of your paycheck. But with CPP contributions, you have to pay the employee's portion of CPP contributions and the employer's portion of CPP contributions. So in this case, our actual salary expense is going to be $1,000 plus the employer's portion of the CPP, which was $42.84. So the employee and the employer both paid the same amount of CPP deductions. So there we go. There's our salary expense. Nice and easy. So now what goes on the other side? So obviously from the bank, we're going to be taking money out of the bank. And how much are we taking out? We're going to be paying ourselves an actual $825.57. Okay, so our debits and credits don't line up. What's missing? That is the payroll liabilities, which would be something on your balance sheet. set up as a liability. So we're going to credit this. What are we going to credit it? We're going to credit it, well, we're going to owe the government $131.59. That's from our federal and provincial tax deductions. And we're also going to owe the government $42.84 for the employees portion of the CPP, plus another $42.84 for the employer's portion of the CPP. So there you go. Now, if we look at this, we should have both sides matching. Oops. There we go. So both our debits are $1,042.84, and so are the credits. So we're good there. So there, we have it set up as far as that is the journal entry that you would make for the actual payroll for paying yourself. The only other thing that you have to do now is when you actually go and pay your payroll liabilities, your bank is going to go down by the $217.27 that you owe from that payroll, and your payroll liabilities will go down by the $217.27. So those are the two journal entries that you would do. This one here is what you would do when you actually pay yourself, and then this is the one that you would do when you actually pay the payroll liabilities that you owe. Now, how do you report your payroll liabilities and actually pay them? Well, most banks in Canada will actually allow you to do this online. I use RBC. They're not sponsoring this video or anything, but I do use RBC. They let you file your taxes online, basically through their system. So by going to the tax payment service, I think they call it, you can actually report what your payroll was through there. They'll ask questions like, when was the payroll date? When is the payroll remittance due? How many employees did you pay? What was the gross payroll? And how much do you owe? And then you enter all that information in. And then when the due date comes, they'll actually take that money out of your account, and then you're good. The only other thing that you'll have to kind of consider here, especially when it comes to the CPP deductions. Now, there is a limit on how much CPP deductions that you can actually take during the year. So there is a set limit on that, and it changes every year. It creeps up a little higher and higher every year. But if you keep track of what CPP contributions you made, so this $42.84, just keep a note that you paid that, because within the calendar year, if you're paying yourself every 2 weeks, then you're basically going to be paying $42.84 every 2 weeks. I don't think that's enough to reach the limit, but for example, you would just add that $42.84 to maybe a spreadsheet that you kind of keep track of. And once you actually hit that limit for CPP deductions, then you basically don't have to pay that anymore, the employee or the employer portion of it. Another thing that you could do as well is when you're filling this out, if you do this every time that you pay a payroll, on one of the screens, I think. Here it is for CPP. Yeah, there we go. So maybe on your next paycheck that you do, what was it, $42.83 or something like that, $42.84. Can't remember the amount, but just put in the amounts that you. Oh, that's in the wrong spot actually. Just move it to there. So the CPP contributions that you made year to date, you can enter that number in here, and the payroll calculator will know, okay, you've actually reached your maximum CPP contributions, so let's not deduct that anymore. And then you don't have to worry about that. So that's just something to keep in mind. Doing it this way, if you're just paying one or two people in your company, maybe it's yourself, maybe it's also your wife, husband, whatever. It's fairly simple just to do this on your own, and without having to pay a premium with your accounting software or paying somebody else to do it, because it is fairly straightforward. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. So anyways, yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry I wasted your time, and hope to see you back in the next one.